Hey, what's up amigos? How's it going? Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a great Friday. Today we've got ourselves spring rolls to do, so Korean style spring rolls with Bulgogi meat. So we're gonna have the beef in there, some marinade, julienne and vegetables in there. We're gonna make our own spring roll wrappers as well, so I'm gonna show you how to do that. In addition, we're gonna do some Gyoza dumplings as well, so some pork dumplings. So we got some ground beef, ground pork, or minced pork. We're going to add lots of lovely flavors to it. We're going to make the Gyoza dumpling stickers as well to go with it. So I'm going to show you how to make them. I'm going to wrap them, sear them off to finish them off as well. What else have we got going? And I might do a little cheeky dipping sauce as well to go with it. So should be very delightful. So I hope you guys and gals are going to enjoy today. We're going to make a start on marinating the bulgogi of beef. So we got some frying steak. I got roughly about ½ a pound of beef or round steak. In addition, we've got some lovely flavors to go in there. So we're gonna have what we're gonna have. Soy sauce, we're gonna have some brown sugar in there. In addition, some sesame seeds. I'm gonna put some gochujang paste in there for some spiciness, a little touch of oil, and also some grated pear. I've got a little bit of pear left over, so we can grate half of that to go in there. How many did I say? 2 garlic cloves. 2 medium sized. These are kind of like quite small, so I'm going to go for like 2 thin ones there, so that'll be fine. But yeah, on the recipe it'd be 2 medium sized cloves. Okay, so I'm going to vac pack this because it'll be a lot easier for me. Now, if you guys want to use freezer bags at home, which I'm sure a lot of you will have, feel free to use that. But I'm gonna vac pack mine so it concentrates the flavor. So yeah, if you want to marinate this instead of doing it for 2 hours, you can actually marinate this overnight if you want to get a more stronger flavor, which I'd probably recommend, but obviously we're not going to wait overnight because we're going to do it on stream today, so we're going to do 2 hours. But if you want to, the options are there for you guys and gals. I want about a teaspoon of sesame seed oil in here. Also want about a tablespoon of gochujang spicy paste. 4 tablespoons of light soy sauce. 1, 2. Also, we do want the garlic. I'm also going to put the brown sugar in the pear. So let's get the brown sugar in first. I want a tablespoon of brown sugar as well. I'm going for ½ a pear grated. We need to get the garlic cloves grated down as well. We're going to pop them in there. So just going to take the garlic skins off on these. We need a tablespoon of oil though, just to kind of help mix this up a little bit. Alrighty, so I'm going to put this on the vac packer. As I said, if you want to freezy bag this, seal it in the fridge, absolutely. So if you haven't got a vac pack machine, don't panic, don't worry. This is just because I've got it here, I'm going to use it. Right, so we're going to get the pork mince out. So I've got a pound of ground pork, which we're going to get out. Also, I want 1/8 of a white cabbage. I've got some white cabbage in there, which we need to dice up as well. So we want 1/8. We don't want really a quarter. It's going to be quite a lot. So what I'm going to do, making sure you remove the root. And we're going to cut this in half again. So technically we've got 1/8. We don't want a huge deal of cabbage. If I want a little bit more, maybe I'll add a little touch more, but I really much doubt we're going to need any more than this. So also, if you find it hard to kind of cut this and you're slipping and sliding, what you can do is just kind of break it down. Nice and easy for you. And so it's much easier to chop. So there you go. So you're not sliding, you're not slipping. You're all good, you're nice and safe. Right, so pork is there, cabbage. I want 1 garlic clove. I also want a little bit of ginger. We want just about roughly a teaspoon of ginger. I would probably recommend using shiitake mushrooms. I don't have any shiitake mushrooms this week, so I'm going to use some button mushrooms. But yeah, I have put shiitake mushrooms on the recipe, but I haven't got any. So feel free to use those, or if you want to use button mushrooms, that's absolutely fine. But you're probably going to get better flavor from the shiitake mushrooms, absolutely. When you wash these, don't wash these under the water, under the tap. Reason for it, they're like sponges, they'll absorb water. So make sure you just get a damp cloth or damp kitchen roll and just wipe them down. Don't run them under the tap or they will absorb all that water. Right, slice this down. I'm gonna give this into a nice little dice. And then what we're gonna do is just pretty much cut them into little strips, and then we're just gonna cut them across into a nice little kind of fine mushroom dice. So I'm gonna pop them straight in there. I was gonna put some spring onions in here. Actually, I want a little touch of leek instead, so I did want to put a bit of spring onion in here, 1 or 2 sticks, but I've got some leek here we can use. So we're going to use a little bit of leek, just to finely dice down. And we're going to use the green end. I'm probably going to use a little bit of the green end. I'm not going to go too crazy. So we're going to need to wash this though, because this is going to have quite a bit of soil in it. Right. 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, soy we've got here, and also I want 1 tablespoon, or teaspoon, sorry, of sesame seed oil. That's it, perfect. Like kind of lightly pinched salt, so just 1 pinch will be fine. We're going to give this a mix up. So this is for the spring rolls, the fill-in for the spring rolls. We're going to make some julienne of vegetables. And if you're like, what's julienne? So basically matchstick. So you cut them down to matchstick. What we want to do is actually cut this in half. Now the most important thing when it comes to leeks is just to wash the inside. You see all those little layers? There's lots of dirt and bacteria in there, so it's super important. I always cut it in half, and then we're basically just going to wash it all the way through under the tap. So let's take all these over here and just give these a little scrub and wash, top and tail. Let's give this a little peel down. So what you want to do is just make sure it's in a secure position. Watch your fingers. Obviously making sure you've got a really nice light sharp knife as well. And with the carrots, it can tend to be a little bit more sinuous, or I wouldn't say sinuous, more like kind of, what's the right word for it? Tough, fibrous kind of. The middle bit can be a little bit kind of thick. So when you get to the halfway point, instead of like trying to slip and slide, just turn it on the other side, and then you can just pretty much slice your way through. And then once you've sliced them all up, you basically want to pretty much just cut them down into a nice julienne. Just nice little kind of matchsticks, ready for your spring rolls. Right, so we're going to peel the celery down. So if you don't like those textures, you can remove that. But if you don't mind it, you can go straight off into the julienne. But I'm just going to peel these because I'm not a big fan of the stringy texture. So the fill-in for the spring rolls, ready to go. So there's our julienne carrots. Celery, maybe I could have done a bit more celery, but it's okay, that should be fine. Let's do this Gyoza dumpling dough first. Yeah, 240 grams of flour, and then just pinch the salt, and then just add water until it's pretty much bound together. So we're just gonna add enough water just to kind of bind this dough together. Right, so that's good. It's bound together. Pop that in the sink to soak. And what we're gonna do is just give this a nice little knead for about 5 minutes, just to kind of stretch the gluten content so we get a nice little smooth dough ready to go. Okay, I feel like we're good. So there's our dough, ready to go. Whoop. Set that aside, I'm gonna wrap it up, put it in my fridge to rest while we start making the spring roll wrappers. 200 grams, right? What was it? Yeah, 200 grams of flour. We also want 300 ml of water. I'm going to get a little whisk as well. Don't whisk it too much, so we don't want to overwork it, but we will whisk it. So we might have a few little lumps in here. If you want to kind of avoid that, you can actually pass it through a sieve if you want to. Frying pan onto the stove on a low heat. I'm going to go with this. Also, you don't use any oil. You don't need to use any oil for this. So you pretty much have to be kind of quick on this as well. So I say kind of quick, right? So don't leave it in there too long. What's going to happen if you leave it in there too long? It's going to dry out, and then you're not going to be able to roll it. So there we go. This is how thin we have them, chat. Almost like see-through. So that's what you're looking for. And you want to keep them like pliable so you can roll them. So I don't want them to dry out, so I'm just going to stack them like so. So pancakes are ready to go. So happy days. Those are looking beautiful. I say pancakes, but more, well, technically they are for the spring rolls. So we're going to wrap them and then fry them, and then they should be good to go. So I'm going to let them slightly cool down, set them aside. We're actually going to get our dough out now for the Gyoza dumplings. And we're going to, what's the word for it? Split them up. So you should be able to get about 12 pieces per side, and we're going to cut it in half. So we should get about 24 pieces out of this dough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A little smidgy one there. but that's okay. There we go, roughly. Let's take a little bit off that. There we go, that's fine. So also, if you're not using the dough, so we've got 24 here, we should have 24. If you're not using them, get a damp cloth or tissue paper just to kind of stop the ones from drying out. So I'm just going to put these over here. I'm going to start rolling them, start filling them. I'm going to make these like too thin, but at the same time, I do want to have some like kind of structure and so looking for about roughly 8 centimeters. Right. So we don't want to overfill this. We don't want to put too much in there, but a good like a little bit more than a teaspoon. Maybe we might need to go a little bit less, but we're going to test this out. Also, I need some water. So we're going to put a little bit of, dab our finger on there, go around it. This is the tricky part, the folding part. Right, so this is how I do them at least. So we're kind of like folding it and then pinching it. Folding and then pinching, folding and pinching. Maybe I could have done this a little bit more tighter, but it's okay. And the filling is plenty. There's plenty of filling in there. Maybe could have gone a bit more on the filling, but it's okay. And then just seal that little last bit up. So you should have, hopefully, nice, beautiful little dumpling right there. So there we go. Fantastic. Looking very lovely. So let me get some, get a tray. I'm going to dust it with flour. Char griller, but I was going to show you before they go into the fridge. But they're pretty much ready to go. It's time to start char grilling that steak. Also going to do some washing up. Awesome. Right, I need a little pinch of salt on the steak. I'm going to char grill it. Don't go too crazy on the seasoning, because it's already got like soy and all the other things in there. So there's that sizzle for your chat. So we're just going to char grill this for about 5 minutes each side. Probably not even 5 minutes. So there we go. There's our beef. Char grilled, ready to go. We're going to dice this up very shortly. So it'll actually cook through quite nicely then. Perfect. Because I was kind of worried about overcooking it on the char griller. So with it actually being really like kind of underdone, when it goes into fry, because obviously we're going to cut this into julienne. When it goes into fry, it's not going to be overcooked. It's actually going to be cooked perfectly now. So I'm actually pretty happy. It's quite nice and rare. So, or shall we say blue? Nice and blue at the moment. So what we're going to do is cut this down into nice little julienne. So I'm going to take some of that little bit of, well, it's a bit of fat, but it's also quite a little bit hard. So I think there's a little bit of sinew underneath that fat. So I'm just going to take that off. I'm just going to cut this down into a nice little strips, ready to go in our spring rolls chat. As you can see, those beautiful wraps have turned out fantastic. You can roll them, they are fine, they're not dry, they are perfect. So let's get the spring roll mix. We've got our beef. Now if I can remember, I need an egg as well for the egg wash, so we can seal that deal on those egg rolls. So I am egg washing, sorry, the pancake, shall we say. So I'm going to put a little bit of carrot in here. Celery, don't go too crazy. We've also got a little bit of leek, though I wanted spring onions, but that's okay, that's fine. I'm going to put a little bit of beef in there as well. So I'm just going to kind of mix it up. I'm not going to be shy with the meat in there as well. So what we're going to do, I've kind of done this sideways, but it's okay. Fold in the sides. And I should have pulled it a bit to the side, but it's okay. That's fine. And what we're going to do is just pretty much wrap it nice and tight. Bob's your uncle. Hang on, chat. Do you know what I forgot to do? When you get to this stage, just a bit more egg wash so it can stick. And then just wrap it nice and tight. There we we go. There's your nice, beautiful spring roll. There you go. So we're about to make that dipping sauce now. Also, I want to put the peanut oil on. So before I start doing this, so I want about 1,000 ml of oil, pretty much. So I've got about 700 ml here. I'm just going to top this up a little bit. So we're going to heat this up, medium heat. We're going to get a plate as well with some kitchen roll. While that's heating up, we're going to make the dipping sauce for you, chat. So garlic, ginger. Right, add a little dash of water, so 4 tablespoons. A teaspoon of sesame seed oil. I also want a little touch of sweetness to it, so very small amount of sugar. The gochujang. I want to put a teaspoon of that for the spiciness. I'm just going to get this pan out now. I haven't actually got a lid for this. Well, technically I have, but it's not the right lid, but it will kind of steam and help us. So we're going to heat that up very shortly. Not just yet. Just once we're halfway through cooking the spring rolls, then we'll probably start heating that up and getting them on as well. I'm hoping they don't de-ravel, but they should be okay. Oh, a baby! Look at them! Look at them! But I'm pretty sure you guys and gals wouldn't say no to a few of these, would you? Surely? Maybe? Maybe no? Do you want me to eat them instead? Right, so those are sizzling, very lightly though. So I don't want to get it too hot. If they get too hot, then we're going to have issues. So a little dash of water in here now. Might need to top it up with a little touch more later on. But we're just going to let that steam away. So that's going to take about, I'd say about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. Keep an eye on it. If the moisture comes out too quickly, then just add a touch more water just to help steam them and make sure they cook through nicely. There we go. That's much better. Look at those little cheeky beauties right there. Let's get these spring rolls up and ready to rock and roll. It's got more of a finer cut on it, which will be very nice to have. And then we're just going to go for the little dumplings as well. Ow! They just come out the pan, I know. Oh no, please don't stick to the kitchen roll. Schoolboy. Woo! There we go. We got him out. There we go. Beautiful. There we go, chat. Woo! Oh, I'm just dying to try these. It's just so good. Mm. Do you hear that, chat? Mm. But either way about it, much loves. Take care. Thank you for the support. And bye for now, amigos.